Hello and welcome to episode 93 of Things I Learned from Barry Harris. And today I thought we would discuss some of Barry's beautiful, I think they're beautiful diminished ideas, which hopefully will give you limitless possibilities to thinking of lines. So if we take a look at Barry's first creation theory, he starts off Barry's creation theory. I don't know if you should definitely look it up. I'm going to try to find him talking about it and leave a link in the description, but it's really wonderful. Anyway, he discusses it. I'll paraphrase it, but him saying it is really perfect. So it's basically the universe is all 12 notes of the chromatic scale, the Western scale. Those 12 notes can be broken apart into two 6-note scales. So you take 6 notes, you have two 6-note scales, which gives you the two whole tone scales. If you take 2 notes from one whole tone scale and 2 notes from another, you get a diminished. You could do that 3 times because you have 6 notes, so you could do it 3 times. Then you get these 3 possible diminishes. Let's just say if we get C diminished, C sharp diminished, and D diminished. And when you get those 3 diminishes, once you hit E flat diminished, you're already repeating the notes of C diminished. So you basically only have 3 diminishes. Now what Barry says is, if we take a look at a diminished, let's take a look at C sharp, and we lower one note of the diminished, each one at a time, you will find your 4 family members. So for instance, if we take a C sharp diminished and lower the C sharp to C, you're going to get a C7. If we take the G and lower it to F sharp, you're going to get F sharp 7. If we take the B flat and lower it, you're going to have an A7. If we take the E and lower it to E flat, you're going to have an E flat 7. So there's your 4 family members. You got C7, E flat 7, F sharp 7 or G flat 7, and A7. So those are your 4 family members. So, okay, what does that tell you? So those 4 family members came from the C sharp diminished, which is C sharp, E, G, and F. So there's our C sharp, E, G, B flat, or A sharp, I guess. And then you have the 4 family members, which we just did by lowering one of those notes. And then you got a C, an E flat, a G flat, an A. So if you put those 4 notes with the other 4 notes, you're going to get, there's your half step, whole step, diminished scale, or your octatonic scale. So that's what Barry refers to it as. Now, the reason that he likes to refer to it as that, instead of just saying, oh, well, it's a half step, whole step, or it's octatonic, is because he wants you to know different things that you can do with it and where it comes from. So for instance, one of the notes that we lowered was, B flat to A. So that gives us an A7. So now we know, okay, A7. So let's say we're playing a song like Alone Together. There's your A7. So we know we can do things for A7 has that C sharp diminished in it. Okay, so we knew that already, and a lot of times you'll play that diminished up from the 3rd. We do it all the time. So let's see. There's that C sharp diminished. We use it all the time. But maybe or you'll hear people do this, which is just the full octatonic or half step, whole step scale. So it's like, just the whole way they'll play that whole scale, which is a really nice scale. But what's nice is we can also just take parts of that. So for instance, if I said, okay, well, one of the dominants that comes from that scale is the F sharp. So we said F sharp 7, A7, C7, and E flat 7 are family. So what if I just used the F sharp and then I just came up the rest of the diminished? So my notes would be F sharp, G, B flat, E flat, or I'm sorry, C sharp or D flat. So there's our scale. So now, according to the octatonic scale, it would be this. But I don't want to use all those notes. I just want to imply the F sharp, just one of the family members, which is really beautiful. So now I know, well, hold on a second. If I'm playing the same thing with Alone Together, I can play, because instead of just running up a straight diminished, I added that one note, which was the F sharp. It's a really pretty way to play. So that means if I could do it for F sharp, and I'm ending on a note of D minor 6, so in this case it's the minor 6. It's the 6, not the minor 6, but... Now if I do it, I could do the same thing from A. So that time I just did it from A. Went up a half step to the diminished, came up 3 notes of the diminished. And I did it up 2 octaves. So now what if I do it from C? Also pretty. So the last one that's left is the E flat. Beautiful sound. Beautiful sound. So you see, already I'm taking the idea of a diminished and I'm using one family member. One time I did F sharp, one time I did A, one time I did C, one time I did E flat, and creating a line with it. So that is the benefit of knowing where that half step, whole step scale comes from, what its origin story is. That's one of the many benefits of that. So now, also, Barry does this other really beautiful thing where he says, you could take, let's say if we took C sharp diminished, still using it for A7, like we're playing Alone Together. He says you could put chromatics in between 2 notes. So let's say if we took the C sharp and the E and we wanted to put a chromatic in between it. That's a beautiful phrase. So now all I did was just go chromatically from C sharp to E, and then I just came up with the rest of the diminished. I didn't put any more chromatics. So let's see. That's beautiful. Or what if we did it between, so we did it between C sharp and E. Now let's do it between E and G. So that's a pretty one. I should have been. And I ended on the major 6 again. I like that sound. How about if we do between the G and the B flat? That's a pretty one. How about between B flat and the C sharp? 1, 2, 3. Oh man. See, I could have done it there too. You could do it backwards too, the same thing. But that's such a, I've never heard anybody do that. Put chromatics in between those 2 notes. So we had the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. I mean, that's pretty. Now, you don't have to do it in just that spot. You can actually put, what if I chose to put the chromatics in between C sharp and E, but then I also went up to the G, and then I decided to do the chromatics between the G and the B flat. So I said, that's a nice one. So let's see. I mean, that is really a different sound. How about if I did it between E and G, and then between G and B flat? Let's see. I love that sound. So let's see. Totally chromatic. So if you were taking a look at it, reverse engineering it, and you didn't know what we were doing, you'd say, wow, that's just a chromatic in between E and B flat, but we're thinking of it as diminished. Really really beautiful sound. How about between G and D flat or C sharp? That's pretty too. And maybe, so you see all the things. How about if we do it from the top? I mean, listen to that. And you know, the thing is, and I was talking to a few people about this, that we had a get-together on Zoom, and we were talking about how what's interesting is a diminished has a certain specific sound and quality to it. So if I said, that has a very specific sound. Really, the quality of that is very clear. You almost know it right away without even playing it. Oh, that's a diminished sound. Whole tone scale has that too. Also, a very distinct sound. Whole tone. We all know what that sound is. Or if you don't, and then somebody tells you, oh, that's the whole tone, then you're able to identify it right away. Oh yeah, that's whole tone sound. Then you have, let's say, the minor 6 on a half step above, or as some people refer to it, altered sound, because they play melodic minor. But Barry plays minor 6 diminished, but it would be B flat minor 6. That's also beautiful. So that's B flat minor 6, or from. So you could say. I should do that better. Or maybe there's that 6 again. So that's got a distinctive sound. But my point was, when you put the chromatics into the diminished, I don't even know how your ear perceives that. I mean, to me, it's a beautiful sound though. It's a really beautiful sound. So it's yet another like Barry gem that he just kind of discusses. And then I started remembering that this was something that he discussed a long time ago, and it was something that I was really interested in. And then as all things Barry, like there's other things that all of a sudden I become interested in, so I kind of put this to the side. But it's so useful. So even if you take some of these, like just taking one of the family members' notes and coming up a couple of notes of the diminished, or using these chromatics, there's limitless amounts of lines you can come up with. And that's, you know, that's why I love this method, and that's why I'm still doing the channel. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on some beautiful diminished ideas. Until next time, have fun practicing.